Welcome to Cosplayers Paradigm, a podcast about everything cosplay related, from the conventions that you love to the people that you love even more. And now, let's get on to the show.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cosplayers Paradigm. Unlike normal, today we have a special treat. It's not one, two, but 5 different members of a cosplay group, Catalyst Cosplay, that are going to be joining us today. Everyone, say hi.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hello.
So how's everyone doing today?
We're doing pretty okay, I think. We're on the show, so I'm doing pretty okay.
I like that. So what actually got you guys all into cosplay? And then what actually caused you to get the group together? Because I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so do you want us to go in order of how we're on the screen?
Probably to make it easier since there's 5 of us right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually got into cosplay, I want to say, I knew what cosplay was at the age of 13, but I was doing it before I even knew there was a word for it. For me, it was just grabbing stuff out of my closet and dressing up. My very first, I guess, cosplay, if that's what you want to call it, was Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. I was 10 years old. My first official cosplay when I got into the scene, I believe, was 2P England from the anime Hetalia. That's kind of what kicked me off into this. I got into the community through an elaborate series of events called CMVs, so the cosplay music videos.
Mm-hmm.
It started with Percy Jackson, which led into a couple of different animes, which led into, there's a whole scene for this. I could really dig this. And then as for the group, I'll let everyone else finish before I go into the group history, because it's actually really interesting.
All right.
So I got into cosplay at age 10. My mom got me into it, actually. We were just discussing this recently, so this is a good timing. She's always had a big admiration and deep respect for cosplayers. So when I started showing interest in these types of things, she jumped right on it. I was 10. I was watching Doctor Who, and MC3, Motor City Comic Con, was coming up, and she said, "Oh my gosh, we should go." And I, of course, was all about that. But she said, "You can't go unless you dress up." And I was even more thrilled about it. I've been playing, dress up since really young, until I was way too old to be playing dress up, And so
You're really an age.
So we made my entire costume from scratch. It was a bunch of tulle. It was this really beautiful dress, and we spray painted Easter eggs to look like the dots on the Daleks. And we actually ended up making the news. It was really exciting. And that really jump-started everything. I started cosplaying from Attack on Titan. I did a couple from there. I also delved into the Hetalia world for a moment. And then I took a big hiatus. I really didn't do much through high school or college, just because I was a military kid, so I was moving everywhere. I was trying to find my community, and then college was a whole mess. And then finally, early this year, I started watching Has Been Hotel, and I was really excited about this. I found this character, Alistair, and I fell in love. I really connected with him. I felt like I just really understood where he was coming from. He's obviously an evil character, and I'm not particularly evil. But I understood where he was coming from. I understand his backstory, and I really connected with a lot of his aspects. And at the time, I was in school studying radio broadcasting, so it really clicked. And in 24 hours, I had created an Alistair cosplay. Wig was bought, coat was made. Like I was up until 3 or 4 in the morning before the con that I went to, and I actually met everybody at this group at. And that really absolutely threw me into it. I have not stopped cosplaying since. It's a huge passion of mine that was reawoken, and it's the train has not stopped moving. I'll hand that off to Cass.
Love that.
So when I was in like elementary school, I started finding cosplayers on YouTube, and I really was really interested in them. Then I had always made my own Halloween costumes, but then in middle school and early high school, I realized, wait, I could do that. So that's really like I started just doing like closet cosplays from like Sander Sides, which is like a YouTube series.
Okay.
Then in mid high school, I started actually like buying more cosplays, and it became like a bigger part of my life.
Gotcha. Very nice.
All right, so I got started in anything cosplay in like 2020. It would have been one of my biggest inspirations actually is Yurio, because like that we met around that time, and then I started getting a little more into cosplay. Because I didn't really have an idea of what cosplay was before that point. But once I got a greater understanding, I started doing a little bit more. Then there was a couple years where I didn't really do that much, but I've really started getting into it a little bit more over the past year with the group and everything. So that's pretty much how it's gone, and I'm super excited to keep cosplaying and keep working on it.
I started getting into like anime and stuff like that around 14, just getting into high school. But I didn't start hearing about cons until about a year later, so around 15, when one of my friends was mentioned a convention that was happening in my hometown. So as soon as I was able to go, I went. So I get there and there's people dressed up, there's like vendors, there's everything, and I'm having a great time. And then is when I start to snowball into the cosplay. I want to start dressing up. So around that time, I was into Hetalia. So officially, my first cosplay is a female version of a character. And then I start getting into some more. I've done Blue Exorcist. I've done Fairy Tale. And some Kingdom Hearts. And that's kind of just where I stay about until 2020. Yurio and I went to visit my hometown con. And I went on to a hiatus from that point and have only just recently gotten back into it.
Gotcha. I think we lost you for a second there.
On what part?
It was right before you went into the hiatus. Are you there?
Looks
I don't
like
know
there
if
might
my
be a little
computer
bit
is
of
having
buffering.
issues connecting with the Wi-Fi, but this has been cutting out for me.
Oh,
Gotcha.
So
we'll just play it by
Oh.
ear. We got it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
group history. This one's a fun one.
All right.
The first thing you need to know about Catalyst. Catalyst was never meant to exist. So this would have been last year, around, I want to say July. So I think I met Cass. It would have been that March at a con. We connected. I've known Moss since 2019, 2020 is when we started skating together. Knight I've known since I was 13 and just starting high school. We were online friends for the longest time, and they eventually moved up here. We moved in together. Azira, I didn't quite know yet. Azira's our newest member. And the one we're missing today is Rat. She's in the Air Force. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today. But she and I had met also at this con. I just kind of pulled us all together and said, hey, why don't we just do a silly little cosplay meetup down at the park in Midland? It can just be us. We'll take some cool pictures. It'll be real fun. We'll get a hotel room for the night. Let's call this TridgeCon. TridgeCon is not a con. It is a cosplay meetup. I always have to explain that because people go, oh, when's the con? It's not a con. So it was day 2 at TridgeCon where, we're down by the Tridge. We're taking pictures. We're laughing, having a good old time. A little bit of backstory. I think I was around 14 when I made my first cosplay group. It lasted all of a week. Nobody ever talked again after that. It was one of those very much so spur of the moment ideas, and it didn't work. It fell through. So as a joke, I go, hey guys, let's be a cosplay group. And everyone said, yes, that's really cool. What should we call ourselves? And there was a group chat made, and polls were being made on the group name. And now we have a YouTube channel, and we have a Facebook page, an Instagram page. And then it got very real for me. And I realized, oh, they didn't realize I was making a joke. This was a joke. And this actually got brought up during our first Q&A video that's on our YouTube channel, where I told them, hey guys, that was never meant to be a thing. I was making a joke. So that kind of stayed with me for the first couple months of us being formed as a group. And the first couple months, it was very much so, fun friend group. Let's make silly videos. We're doing this for ourselves. And I think after the first couple cons, we realized we really had something here. We have something that no other cosplay group has done. Let's do some stuff for our community. Let's bring the community back to cosplay. And that's really been where our driving force has come from since then. And we've just, the train's been go, go, go the entire time since. We've never really stopped. And we're growing day by day. And I think we really got something here. We can really make a difference in our community.
That I really love. That's kind of the same reason why I even started the podcast here too.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back to the community, bring people on here that can tell their stories, because so many people out there don't really know what cosplay is.
Right.
And we need more people to go ahead and actually know. We need to spread the word a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I mean, it's a great outlet, and an outlet for a person's creativity. For some people who have anxiety, where they have difficulties talking, putting that costume on, putting a different persona, having that, it's like flipping a switch,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I love that. I might have to go ahead and call you guys up again and see about maybe collaborating for something else for the community as well later on.
For sure. I'm sure we'd love that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, I do have something coming up next month if you're free, but I can't talk about it here, so it'll have to be after the show.
Of course. We're more than interested.
All right. So when you've gone to cons of different shapes, sizes, throughout, whether or not you were a group or individual, have either of you seen some absolutely amazing cosplays that you saw that just stuck out? Like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite one.
I know for sure I've seen a lot of people that inspire me. My big thing is makeup. I love doing the makeup for my different characters. So that's typically what I focus on when it comes to cosplay. I'm still learning to style wigs, still learning to build, still learning to sew. But when it really comes to makeup, that's my forte. So you'll see, like, if you go through my Instagram, a lot of my cosplays, I'll pull inspiration from other people. My Lucifer cosplay, one of the big things I don't do with him that I see a lot of other cosplayers do is the face paint. I don't like the face paint as much. I go in with a white base, white powder base, and it softens his features to give it a more natural look. And that's something I've taken from other cosplayers that I've seen in vlogs at cons. So typically when I'm going out to these conventions, I'm looking for, what kind of makeup brands do you use? How do you get your references? What are you doing that I'm not doing so I can be on your level?
Oh, I know a couple people you definitely need to talk to about that then.
You'll have to hook me up.
They're going to be at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con.
Ooh, I will find them. I'll talk to them.
They will be easy to find. They're going to be the cosplay guests that are in this section.
Mhm.
Just look up Night Mage and Pink Petal.
I will do that.
A lot of my inspiration, so like I said, I didn't start cosplaying heavily until this year. Though I see incredible, and I want to emphasize just incredible cosplays at cons, a lot of my inspiration has actually come from online cosplayers. Um, the reason I got back into cosplay, even just looking at cosplay, is CK and Ava. They are absolute inspirations to me. The way CK went to school for costume design, and she has been an absolute and utter inspiration to me since before I started cosplaying. She is just exquisite, as well as just the number of has been hotel cosplayers that I see online. Um, and there is this one specific Alistair. I did not get their information, unfortunately. It is tragic, but I saw them at MC3 Motor City Comic Con, and they are the inspiration behind my current wig, and that they've stuck with me since I saw them with very second draft Alistair. So there's just I pull inspiration from so many people, and I'm gonna jump on the train that Moss started. I every single day Yurio inspires me further. Same with Knight and everyone in this cosplay group. We like to say like a lot of the reason that we're in this group in the first place is to pull skills from one another. Um, so I will say my biggest inspirations are right here in this podcast. They inspire me to get better every single day. They inspire me to continue my craft. Um, and just being with them every day is it helps me so much. I mean, Night has taught me so much about cosplay, especially when it comes to crafting actual items like with foam. I had no idea what I was doing. And then Knight comes in, swoops in, saves the day, and explains things to me. And likewise, I feel like I'm able to explain things to, other members of the group. And I just, these people are some of my biggest inspirations, especially coming into the cosplay community so late. Well, so recently, I suppose.
So so when I go, I'm constantly like looking at other people's cosplays because I like seeing ideas from them and like seeing different creative twists on different characters. When I was younger, two of my biggest like inspirations and like pushes to start cosplaying were two YouTubers, Sweetie Candy and Anya Panda. But then as the group gets bigger, like everyone in this chat and then the community we've built have really been like inspirations and like big things keeping me like inspired and excited to cosplay because we really have a great community with us.
Very cool.
I definitely have to echo what everybody else has been saying about like the community and everybody that's like even in just our area because of the fact that like being able to look at the people in our group and the people that are like surrounding our group that are like believing in what our group stands for and what our group is like trying to do, that really inspires. That's something that really inspires me to like keep going and keep trying to like better myself while also watching everybody else continue on. I also to go off what like Uriel says about like what her forte is. My forte is like seeing people that like embody the character and like get in with their cosplay character. And I really enjoy seeing people that like don't like just enjoy, the costume part of the cosplay, but also the power of like feeling like the character that you're portraying and everything. So I think that part of cosplay is really inspirational to me when I see people that are like able to find that connection to the characters that they love.
Couldn't agree more. It's so fun. Put the mask on and you are that person.
I have sorry. I have to agree with basically everybody on the same sentiment of we all inspire each other. But I also look at not just us within this immediate group, also others. I'm also constantly looking at videos. As Azir mentioned, I work more with crafting items, foam, and stuff like that. I do get into wig styling, so I'm constantly looking at other videos that can help me improve on that. I also barreled into foam work, so drawing knowledge from other people really have helped me, and I want to help the others with whatever else they need.
I like that. Now back to the Alistair that you said you met at the Motor City Comic Con.
Yes.
Try looking up a Chew cosplay.
A Chew cosplay. Okay.
Because they were Alistair at a few different places, and I think Motor City was one of them. Was
Okay,
it a guest?
I'll have to take a look.
Were they a guest
It
by any
wasn't a
chance?
guest. No, it was someone around my age just walking around.
Did they have? Was the teeth really spot on?
No,
Okay.
they actually, I took a lot of inspiration from them. They really jump started me upping my game with my Alistair. Um, they look very classy. Um,
Okay.
I have a picture of me with them, and they're very classy. Their wig was curly, and that has stuck with me until I styled my wig. Um, and I felt like they embodied Alistair in a way that I hadn't seen cosplayers embody him before. They were glamorous with him instead of kind of pulling out that eldritch horror in him. And I loved that. I loved that they took that like silky radio voice, smooth talking 20s radio host version of him, and they put it into his demonic form. And I strive to do that as well. I strive to make him graceful and fun, and I believe that so much of his character is not only entertaining himself but entertaining others. And that's something that I've really taken with me. And to pull from what Moss said, it really is in my case, I suppose, important to embody that character, but also see that character for deeper than just the screen. I pull a lot of my inspiration from, fan fiction and from artist interpretation. And so seeing this different embodiment of Alistair so early on really influenced me further.
Very cool. Yeah, there's been a lot of Alistairs I've seen recently. One of them that stands out because they got the teeth right, their facial features bring to the point, just like Alistair, the wig, the setup, and their body built. I believe the cosplayer's name is Radio Bandit. If you ever take a look online and you see them, you'll see what I mean. If not, I'll see about posting a picture of different cosplayers like that on the page. But
Absolutely, I'll look them up.
it's just, it was wow. But since you nailed it on the head right there, saying by the sounds of it, Alistair is your favorite cosplay, that was going to be the question for everyone else: is what is your favorite cosplay?
Oh, goodness. So this is a very hard question for me because it solely depends on what I'm hyper fixated on at the moment.
Okay, fair enough.
So at least currently right now, I'm cosplaying Lucifer quite a bit. He's been my focus. He's the one that I'm trying to build up. I'm looking at maybe getting his hat crafted for Grand Rapids. If I'm happy enough with how it turns out, I'll definitely have that. But before him, there was Astarion from Baldur's Gate. It's what my current profile picture is. He was one I took a lot of pride in because he was so vastly different from everything else I've done before. Everything else I've done was, the pretty anime boys or the girls, princesses, and now I have this gross vampire man who's so suave and so just very charming. So trying to perfect the makeup to look a little bit older than what I actually am, and also getting it so I don't look quite as feminine since I have the softer feminine features. It was a challenge, but it was a challenge I was ready to take on. I'm finally, I think, in a position where I'm happy with his makeup and how I do it. I'm almost in the place where I'm ready to upgrade his wig, potentially looking at upgrading the cosplay itself, the costume pieces. So for a minute, he was really the one that I loved. But obviously now we've moved on to Lucifer. He's very fun. I definitely I connect with him quite a bit. I can get into character, like Moss was saying. I love bantering with other cosplayers at cons. It's what makes the whole con experience for me. So I guess in terms of, getting that experience at a convention, the cosplay for me is Lucifer. Anytime else, it depends on how I'm feeling that day. If I'm feeling a little bit more saucy with it or a little bit more laid back, it just depends on my mood.
Nice. But remember, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're looking feminine or not in a vampire, because take a look at some of the famous vampires that are out there.
Oh, for sure.
Look at Lestat, played by Tom Cruise, or Brad Pitt with his
very pretty men.
Exactly. And then you even look at Bill from True Blood. Same thing. He's supposed to be masculine, but he still has that calm, feminine, kind of everything look. The only one that actually changes that is back from the 80s, and that's Kiefer Sutherland's as David from Lost Boys.
Yeah, I forgot that movie existed.
But the rest of his crew still look feminine. So you don't have to worry about it too much.
For sure.
It's the allure of the vampire,
Oh, yeah.
All right, sorry about that, Cass.
Oh, no, you are all good. So, my favorites, like Yurio said, change often, just depending on whatever I am really in the moment. But right now, my two favorites would probably be Pearl from Steven Universe, because she's just a character I really resonate with, or Len, who is a Vocaloid, just because I cosplay him and his twin with one of my really close friends, and we just have a ton of fun being those characters.
I don't see anything about Steven Universe too often, so hearing about that just makes me smile.
Steven Universe is one of my favorite shows.
I don't care what anyone says. I will admit this. I have cried because of that series.
Me too.
It's amazing.
So good.
So I'd have to say that my favorite two cosplays at the current moment, because just like everybody else has been saying, mine kind of changed based on what I'm like interested in at the moment. But my favorite two have to be Fizzroli, and Blitz. They're the two that I feel closest to and most proud of at this current moment. While I continue to work on some other ones, but they're the two that I are my go-to. So
very cool. All right, Knight.
Mine's a little. I'm a little different. I actually have a very good favorite.
Okay.
My favorite is Zhao from Genshin Impact. He's very broken right now. I've been able to wear him.
Oh, that's not fun.
But I will get him fixed. I have all. Yeah. We're Genshin cosplayers. Our cosplay is broken. I am actually also currently working on his signature weapon. I have that about like half done. I started it a couple months back, but I've been so busy I haven't been able to fix it. But I am very excited. Once he will be complete in full, I will be very pleased. I'm very excited.
As you should be. Now I know how that goes with being broken. During one of the cons, I dressed as Ash from Evil Dead, so I had the chainsaw for the hand. The wind caught the blade, and the blade ripped right off of it and went in the street.
Oh, no.
Luckily, another cosplayer ran out in the middle of the street, and she brought it back to me. I was like,
Oh, good.
Thank you. You didn't have to, but holy crap, thank you. I have fixed it now 4
That's very
times.
nice.
Oh,
it was.
Gosh.
But yeah, I have fixed it 4 different times, and just recently I did a photo shoot out in Allegan with it.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, my boomstick would not go on the straps. Somehow it didn't work. It kept falling off. So I decided I went to Spirit Halloween and I picked up a sword. So we
You know
did
what?
Army of Darkness instead.
It works. Sometimes
Yep, it
that's
does.
just the way to go.
Yep, sometimes you have to have a contingency.
Hmm.
Now, you've been great to send me quite a few photos to go through, and that was a lot, by the way.
Yeah, I figured I'd give you a good majority to pick from.
So, in my opinion, I think I chose pretty well, but you guys can be the judge. But for everyone else out there watching, this is just some of the work that Catalyst has done. And yes, I had to start off with that. And of course, I had to do this as the introduction to each of you.
Oh, for sure.
That one I had to smile at.
So that one's actually from our TridgeCon this last year.
Okay.
That was the first year we made it public. It was super fun.
I think I seen it on Facebook because I was actually considering going to a couple different ones.
We plan on making that actually a yearly thing, so we're looking at April of this next year, 2025. We don't have a date set yet, but it will be a Saturday in April.
So trying to get a Saturday is hard, but not impossible.
We try to make it so it's available for everyone, especially being in the Tri-Cities. You know, there's not a lot going on in April, at least con-wise, so makes it easier for the younger audience to get out here and enjoy it as well, so school's not in the way.
Very true. So, what'd you think about those selections?
I thought it was pretty good. I think it showcased just how much fun we have.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, like I said, you sent a lot of them, so I was trying to pick and choose which ones. It's like individual, together. No, there's more of them. I get. But
yeah, I went a little ham with it. My apologies.
no, you're fine. You're not the only person who did that before. But I made the mistake. They sent me. I want to say it was around near 40 pictures.
Oh goodness.
So I chose every single one.
Oh
And then I tried to
no.
make the video and then realized, oh no, that didn't work out. It was
Happens to the
maybe
best of us.
2 seconds of each picture going through, and
Mhm.
you couldn't really see it unless it was like a flashbang, if you will. So I learned.
Live and learn. Live and learn.
Exactly. So we know that the Grand Rapids Comic Con, of course, is one of the things that's coming up here for you.
Mhm.
But what other events do you have coming up in the near future that you're looking to do?
So we actually just recently had a Catalyst meeting about this. We have events planned out almost all the way through June now, where we're trying to get the whole group together, make sure we can meet up with everyone.
Okay.
So obviously Grand Rapids happening this month. In December, we're actually going out to Caro. It's a store called Hit Point Hobbies. They're holding their very first event called Creator Con. So we'll be out there supporting them. They'll have a cosplay contest, some vendors. It should be pretty cool. From there, I believe we're doing EshoCon come January, I believe. January or February, one of the two.
January.
January. I know our big one we're really pushing for is going to be AlmaCon at the very end of March. We're actually applying right now for a panel. So our very first Catalyst panel, we're planning on doing an in-character panel if we get accepted. So that should be pretty cool. The big con that we're really planning for, it's I believe May, June, is Colossal Con. So this is one that I don't think any of us have ever been for. It's one that I've always wanted to go to, right up there with KatsuCon. So we're really planning ahead for that one, starting saving like now, trying to get our game plan together, seeing who we're rooming with. But yeah, we have plans all the way through June. I know we're planning TridgeCon in April, so we should have a flyer up pretty soon for that once we get our date set and our theme ready for that one. Outside of that, events, we'll post pretty often about events that we plan on doing, even if it's just little meetups throughout the year. We're really planning. We're trying to put all of our site on TridgeCon though. We figured this last year it was a live and learn moment. You know, we put a lot of funding into it. I think that's the way to do it. Is have our one big event, do our cons, and then little meetups throughout the year.
When you do the TrenchCon, do you usually have a photographer there, or is it more or less random?
So it's actually this last year. It was one of our friends' husbands. He came out and did some really nice pictures for us, and then I didn't realize this at the time, but a couple other photographers had seen our postings through it, and we posted, I believe, in Ask Midland. We pushed it through a couple of Michigan cosplay groups. They saw it. They showed up, wanted to take pictures of us, and they actually passed out their cards to everyone. So I think we had 3 or 4 photographers show up that day and took some pictures of all the groups.
Very nice.
Yeah.
If you're interested, I would reach out to Have Camera Will Cosplay. I don't know if you've actually looked at his work, but aside from phenomenal job of just capturing the moment and his photography,
Mm-hmm.
he does composites for the cosplayers as well.
Gotcha. Yeah,
And
I will definitely look into him.
I don't have mine here, so I can't really show it. But if you go ahead and look on any of the promos that I do on my page showing the upcoming episodes,
Mhm.
that little flyer, if you will, my picture's right there as the composite, and you'll see how it's sprayed in a little bit with like the darkness, and there is power coming from my fingertips as well. I mean, the lighting is all different, and if you look at some of the other people like Pink Opal or Pink Petal Cosplay, Night Mage, Andy Serpenti, Phoebe Alcade, all different stuff like that. It's phenomenal.
For sure. Yeah, I'm looking at his work right now. He does some really phenomenal work, so we may have to reach out to him this time.
I would highly recommend. Not only is he an amazing person, but his work speaks for himself. And he should be there Friday and Saturday at the Grand Rapids Comic Con as well.
That might be our little in then. I'll have to pull him aside and talk to him for a minute.
I just don't know if he's dressing up or how that's working just yet, but yep, he should be there, and that way you can go ahead and give him a holler and go from there.
Perfect. We will be sure to do so.
Maybe he'll even go ahead and take some photos of you right there too.
That'd
Like
be pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, a little mini photo shoot,
Heck yeah.
But yeah, his prices are actually quite reasonable for what he does.
Okay.
And I still need to talk to him, but I kind of want to do like a raffle. And it's because this show just started in March. And we're already on season 2, and I've had amazing guests, great people, great conversations.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 205 followers already.
That's amazing.
And I'm still trying to gasp at how that's working, but I like it. And I appreciate all of you out there for that. So I'm trying to get together and do something, and I think I want to get with him, do a raffle for people, and the winner gets an actual professional photo shoot.
I think that'd be really neat.
I just have to get with him first to make sure everything's good, and then yeah, put it together. And I also have 3 different people who do 3D printing, so maybe I can even have them print some stuff out as like a cosplay item or just something else anime related,
For sure. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Time will tell. We got to go ahead and see and get all our ducks in a row.
Oh yeah, I understand that one.
Now, because you guys are a group and individual, some of you living together and others not, how do you separate between your life and cosplay?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that one gets me.
Yeah, so for me, it's really hard because cosplay is my life. This is my passion. This is the one thing that I found that I am so good at. I could make a living out of this if I wanted to, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm there yet. But I feel like if I really pushed for it, if I gunned for this, I could do that. I could make it with the big dogs, I could make this into my living.
I like
I,
that.
I wish I could. I wish I had the means to do so now. It just, getting the ducks in a row. Have to get that settled first. But for me, a lot of it, I find the joys in the little things with it. So going day to day. Oh, when can I test this out? When can I schedule this? When can I edit my videos? That's what gets me through the day. But again, that's just speaking for me. It's that cosplay really is my passion in life. So it's easier for me to go day to day. Oh, this is what we're doing now. Can't speak for the rest of the group, but
So I, very similar to Yurio, cosplay is a huge passion of mine. Creating, wig styling, getting into these characters. It is such a huge passion. And it does get a little difficult to differentiate between, what has to come with adult life versus what comes with the cosplay life, especially because like Yurio and I do Lucifer and Alistair as a duo cosplay, and we're looking at future duos, and it's a little difficult to differentiate it or every once in a while. But luckily, I am very lucky for this. I have school. I'm in school for political science. I have my job. I am looking into like a big girl career. I'm able to set these things with almost time management, I suppose, of saying, all right, this is when homework is. All right, this is when work is. All right, this is the time that I get to hyperfixate on my cosplay. So it really does come down to some extreme time management in not allowing myself to just focus on my cosplay when I do have other priorities at hand. Um, and I know myself well. So I set aside, if it's the week of the con, that's going to be con crunch time. I know myself well. I'm not going to get everything done in time, or at least at the time that I want it to get done. So I put time aside. I say, all right, the Grand Rapids Comic Con is coming up next week. Let's con crunch. Let's focus solely on this. I get all of my other priorities figured out or done or pushed to the side, essentially. And I say, this is my priority right now. I need to get this jacket done, or I need to finish styling this wig, or I need to really perfect this makeup. So it comes down to some really dedicated time management for me.
So same with like what they said. It's hard to separate it because cosplay, especially in the recent years, is such a big part of my life. A lot of my like spare time, I'm like looking into other things and like shopping for cosplays. So I do have separation, but not much, just because of how big it is in my life. So I don't really need to like separate from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's good though.
So
Yeah.
so for me, like everybody said like cosplay is a big part of my life, but just like Azira, I'm also I'm in school right now for English education, so I've got like a really busy schedule, but something that like I personally find helps separate everything is like even within the group, we're not just like a cosplay group that decided to do just cosplay. Like we're a group of friends that does cosplay. And just the idea that we're able to come together as often as we are and not in non-cosplay ways while also, which draws some of the focus away from spending time on cosplay is like pretty big and pretty big differential for who we are as a group as well.
Nice.
I have a little bit harder time because I work anywhere from 37 to 40 hours a week. I try to find the time. I wish I could find more time to do what I need to do. My saving grace is, at least for work, Grand Rapids. I just have the wig to do. That's all I have. But also recently, Dragon Age Veilguard just came out, so that has also taken up part of my life.
I know how that goes. Only a little bit of time before the con, and I still haven't been able to finish 2 cosplays that I've been working on. They've been falling apart.
That's kind of where I'm at with mine. I
Yeah.
still have so much I want to do with it. I'm going to put it off till the night before. I just know I am.
The worst part for me is there's not much to do. Honestly, if I had a station set up and a little bit of time, I could probably finish both of them in 3 hours.
That's how it is for me. Because I live with 2 of the however many members we have in our group now. It's just finding a day where all 3 of us can sit down, bust out this prop for me, and it can be done in maybe 2 hours. But, that requires, hey, when's your next day off? When are all of us home? Hey, do you want to set aside the game for a minute? Hey, we should probably stay home and work on this. In reality, it's just easier to put it off until we're at the hotel, and now we have to focus on it, because if not, well, I don't get to have the prop.
Definitely know that feeling.
Yeah.
So here's a nice fun one for you guys. If you could go ahead and cosplay anywhere in the world, do a photo shoot or a con that's on your bucket list or anything, where would that place be?
For me, that one's super easy. It's KatsuCon. KatsuCon has been one that I've been keeping an eye on since I've came into the community. It's where all the bigs go. You're rubbing elbows with these big and famous cosplayers, these amazing builds, these amazing pieces. And the one thing I do know about Katsu is it's a pretty con. It's not so much about going and competing. It's showing up and showing off what you can do. That's the appeal to it. You get to meet all these people and talk your craft, and that's really at the core of what I want to do. I want to perfect this craft in my own way, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is talking with all these other people that I look up to so much. So if I could go anywhere and cosplay anywhere, it would eventually be KatsuCon.
Nice.
My answer is also very easy. I gasped when you asked the question. If I could go anywhere in my cosplay, I would the French Quarter of New Orleans. I would love, I would love to take Alistair to the French Quarter of New Orleans because he is from New Orleans. It would be amazing to take both the demonic form of Alistair as well as my human form of Alistair and go at night, take some really incredible pictures in his place of origin. It's a dream, not to mention I just love New Orleans in general. I feel like it would help embody the character so much more, just because of the rich history there is with the culture. It would be amazing. It would be a dream come true in reality. Just almost getting to do him justice, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, so New Orleans is my answer.
I like that.
So I do not have a set in stone answer like the other two. But in general, I would love to just be able to go out of country because a lot of my favorite cosplayers who really inspired me to start doing that are from Canada and a couple are from Australia, I want to say. So I'd love to just go to different parts of the world just to be able to meet these cosplayers that really inspired me.
Very nice.
So my answer is also pretty easy. Is if I could go anywhere in cosplay, I'd love to be in Fizerly and meet Alex Brightman. Just be where Alex Brightman is at any given point in time, because that's honestly my dream is just to be able to meet him in a character that he's voiced. Because he's my favorite voice actor from both shows, so it's that's honestly my answer to that question.
I can tell you where he's going to be next month.
Yeah.
GalaxyCon, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's food for thought, right?
It's still a dream.
My answer is a little bit more sentimental. If I was to ever go back, I would love to go back to my hometown con in California to SAC Anime. If I had the money, I'd actually love to take the entire group with me back there. It was my first convention. It holds a very special place in my heart. I would go 2 times a year because it's held 2 times a year. I would love to go back and be like, it's a hey, I left, I come back, look at what I can do now.
I like that. That is awesome. I have to agree with Kat. Going everywhere to different places to meet people would be awesome. But there is one place in particular that I would love to do a cosplay myself. And it's cliche, I know, but Japan. But the character.
That would be my second answer is Japan. There's so many cool settings there.
Very true. But the character is Mitsurugi from Soul Calibur.
That would be amazing. I'd love to see that.
I would grow my hair out, do no wig, no nothing, just grow everything out, trim it, get everything situated, hand make the entire armor, learn the entire kata all over again, and yeah, just it's one of those that makes you a little shiver, you know?
Yeah, it's a dream for sure.
Yeah, everyone's got dream cosplays, but that's definitely a dream destination as well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like dream destination also gives you a little bit more food for thought as well, you know? Everyone has a dream cosplay. Where do you want to go with this, you know? Think of all the cool people you can meet, the people you'd leave an impression on, because that's at the core of what we want to bring to the community, is leaving an impression on people, making them think, like, why do I do this?
Exactly.
There's no true answer. Do you do it for yourself, the community? Personally, I do it for the community and myself.
No, I hear you there. I've said it before on different episodes, and I won't go ahead and say it completely, but for those who have already seen the show and know this story, I dressed up as Ash from Evil Dead, and a kid wanted a picture taken with me. So I did it, and he was just enthralled with the chainsaw. So I said, "Would you like to wear it?" And so put my hand in the sleeve. There it is, no hand, and we did a whole little thing. The thing about that is at the spring fling, I met him again. He comes running up to me, goes, "Hey, you remember me? I was Jason."
Oh.
And the first time the kid, seeing his look on his face, getting a picture taken, that alone solidified I want to do this. But when he did that, I almost cried. I was like, I'm not even anyone special. Yeah.
That's also a big part of it for me. Very connected to the cosplay. I do party princessing. I dress up as Princess Anna from Frozen. I do Ladybug from Miraculous. Ladybug is one of my biggest ones. Not only because I relate so much to her, but because I know there's so many littles that can relate to her as well. So when I get the chance to wear her out to a con and I can make a child's day, hey, do you want to hold my yo-yo? Do you want to talk some crap about Cat Noir? It's that's what makes it for me. It's inspiring them. It's bringing their dreams to life and keeping the magic alive for even a brief moment. That's a huge part of why I do this.
Definitely.
That really is. I can relate so deeply to that. At my first and this could be controversial, but at my first con back after my hiatus, I was Alistair, and this kid comes up to me, comes running, and asks, "Oh my gosh, can I have a hug? You're so cool. I love your voice." And obviously, I don't sound anything like Amir. Ever will I? No. But can I put on a nice little radio host voice? Sure. I wanted to work for NPR for a while. And getting to just see these baby cosplayers. Or, for example, I saw this tiny little Alistair. She couldn't have been more than 10. And I know it's controversial because it's an adult show. I don't know why she was watching it. I don't condone that, but whatever. But she was in line for a trunk or treat, and I was just driving by and I saw those ears and I said, I have those. Oh my gosh. And I had to call my mom immediately after because I'm just sitting there crying and I'm going, that was me. That was me. I was that little girl. And so seeing these baby cosplayers and having them come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you're so cool, or I love your wig, or anything like that, I want to sit there and hold them and say, you're going to go so far. You're going to do so many amazing things. And it's just seeing these younger cosplayers. It's part of why I cosplay. It's a huge part of why I cosplay is I know that I've grown. I know that my cosplays have gotten significantly better from, when I was 10, 11, 12. And so I want these kids to know, like, you are going to go so far and you're going to love every single second of it. So I love seeing the younger cosplayers in the community because it's the next generation of cosplayers. They're going to do such amazing things.
That's one of my favorite aspects of this is meeting the younger crowd because we've all been there. Every single one of us has been there. I often get very emotional thinking back on, 10 years ago, where was I? I was at home watching Comic-Con vlogs. I was watching these cosplay tutorial videos, these cosplay skits, going, I wish I could do that. I wish I could be cool like these people. And now fast forward, I am doing that. I'm sitting here making these funny videos with my friends. I get the experience of going to these Comic Cons, traveling, spending the night, doing all these cool things, and I don't think we take these things for granted quite a bit. We sit here, we take it for granted, but I think we should all also remember to take those 2 seconds and remember we were those kids. And that's a big thing in the community too, is remembering when these baby cosplayers come up to you and want to talk with you, and their cosplay's half falling apart, their wig cap is showing, their makeup's a mess. You were that kid too. Take 2 seconds, remember that was you 5-6 years ago. You are their role model. So
Yep.
it's a big thing for me.
And to add
Yeah.
to what
Yeah.
Yurio said, again, I apologize, but even at the last con that we attended, Yurio and I specifically, we were in line for the cosplay contest, and this sweet little girl came up, and she was competing, and there's two instances, one with a wig malfunction and one with a prop malfunction. And I mean, we went into mother mode. We took pins off of our own cosplay. We were teaching them how to present themselves on stage. We want these younger cosplayers to succeed in ways that maybe we didn't have that assistance, or we did and it influenced us so heavily. It's such a good part of the community.
I love that, like, this is a community. My little sister absolutely idolizes all of you guys. And I love how I've been able to help her get cosplays to match me because it's such a good community. And I love that her being only not even 8 years old, she's getting into it so early and is able to be around such great people for it.
That's definitely amazing.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
and definitely like I just recently I got a message from somebody that we met at a con like not even half a year ago that was like, "Hey, thanks for helping me grow as like a cosplay, like in cosplay and as like their own person," which was like I didn't just impact them in cosplay. Like all I was doing was just like cosplaying and having fun, and I impacted this person to like inspire them to do cosplay and inspire them to like grow, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
definitely. We have 1 minute before I have to actually end this episode, unfortunately. But I love everything that we've talked about. But yeah, this is going to have to be it for us tonight. Um, it was absolutely amazing having you guys on here because the stories, your presence, everything about you guys is just awesome.
Well, thank you so much. We take great pride in the work we do. And honestly, what better way to leave it off, talking about the community and what we want to do for it, how we want to impact them.
Exactly. Thank you again. If you'd like to stay in the studio afterwards, I will see you then. But until then, everyone out there that's watching, remember, if you can dream it, believe, create. Have a great night, everyone.
Are you interested in cosplay, currently a cosplayer, or have an experience you wish to share? Want to be on the show? Simply text, email, or send a message on our Facebook page. I can't wait to hear from you.